Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, we've got more Photon Hypernova reveals. We've got GISHKI support. What? Or is it GISHKI? I don't even know. I never played when they were like any kind of relevant, to be honest. And listen, I'll also Jesus, with all the updates. I'll also preface this video by saying I do not know a ton about GISHKIs. All I know is that when they got that one card off the ban list a couple ban lists ago, everybody was going crazy because technically they could do like a whole hand loop going first. We'll see how this support goes. I mean, maybe if it's good enough, that's a little bit more consistent. Maybe it does a little bit better through interruption. And I guess the question will be, what can or does the deck do going second? We will have to see. But very, very cool nonetheless. Also, I believe this is the Constellar guy, the little Constellar guy, which gives me hope that like Satellar Knights could get future support. I don't know. But I'm about it. Okay, let's jump into this. Starting off here, we have Grim GISHKI, water fish effect monster, level 2, 600 attack, 700 defense. You can only use this second effect once per turn. If you ritual summon exactly one water ritual monster with a card effect that requires use of monsters, this card can be used as the entire requirement. Okay, very cool. Just like the little Necros boy that counts as an entire tribute for a ritual summon. That is a big leg up if they're going to try and make like old mechanics more playable because they require really high star tributes or specific monsters. This guy covering an entire cost is really, really nice. Next up, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon a GISHKI monster from your deck, except for another Grim GISHKI. Also, you cannot declare attacks for the rest of this turn, except with ritual monsters. That is freaking sweet. Why is that the second effect? That seems so weird. Anyway, first effect was really good already, because I assume most ritual decks have a ton of searchability going on anyway. He was going to be really searchable, I would assume. But even if he wasn't, you know, if you can get to him somehow, he counts as like entire cost, makes for pretty cost-efficient ritual summons. But then also just make this card a freaking, whatever, tour guide for the entire GISHKI archetype. Again, I don't know off the top of my head what monsters already exist in the archetype, but anything that's decent just comes straight out from this guy. Very, very cool. No restriction on that, aside from the attack thing, so the monster's not negated. You're not locked into ritual summons for the rest of the turn. You still have some pretty open-ended stuff. Pretty cool. This is a really good first card, for sure. Next up, we have a new ritual, what I would assume is a boss monster. This is GISHKI Nerimanas. This is a water spellcaster ritual effect monster, level 10, 3000 attack, 1800 defense. You can ritual summon this card with any GISHKI ritual spell, which we also have one down here, I guess. If this card is ritual summoned, you could target one water monster in your graveyard, special summon it. That's pretty freaking sweet. This also combos pretty nicely with Grim. Even if you didn't have to, even if you like, if you already did your normal summon, so you weren't able to like summon Grim prior to doing a ritual summon, if you use him from hand and use him as the entire requirement for Nerimanas, then it would count, and then no Nerimanas is summoned, it would then just summon him back, and then he summons again from the deck. Pretty cool either way, whether he's starting you off to get you into GISHKI plays and summons prior to your ritual, or after, he's still getting you good value. Cool. Cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster with a special summon that is special summoned from the extra deck. Whatever, that's fine. It's 3000 attack anyway. Not a ton of stuff is beating over this regardless, but I guess this means you can't be cleared by access code. Whatever. Third effect, that's a pretty like mediocre protection effect, to be honest. Third effect, once per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect. Quick effect, return one GISHKI ritual monster from, you control to the hand, and if you do, negate the activation, and if you do that, shuffle that card into the deck. Very, very neat. Okay, cool. That's a pretty good interruption, all things considered. I mean, it's just a straight up monster negate. I like that it bounces any GISHKI ritual, which includes itself, so just getting to it gets you an extension from grave, and then itself just already counts as a monster negate. What I like about this as well is the cost you pay to do this negate just bounces itself back to hand. You're not actually losing a resource. It's not like tribute this card, shuffle this card back in a deck, whatever. It just sends itself back to hand, so now you have that to be able to summon out on a later turn in the duel. Pretty cool. Also, this negates and shuffles. Obviously, that's one of the best ways to do it, other than maybe negate and banish. So yeah, really, really strong. I like this card a lot. Solid interruption, solid extension on summon. The second effect's meh, but still, all in all, pretty good. I know he's level 10, but if we can summon him off of one tribute off of like Grim and stuff, and that's really consistent, we'll work with it. Also, keep in mind, like, there's stuff like a ton of ritual cards that already exist in the game, searchers, all that kind of stuff, as well as like, what do we have now? Oh, Libromancers, like the new ritual archetype that's kind of combining with other ritual stuff. We'll see. Mikanko as well is kind of interesting. But yeah, next up here we move to our next card, GISHKI Ice Mirror Spell Ritual. This card can be used to ritual summon any GISHKI ritual monster, of course. Ritual summon one GISHKI ritual from your hand by attributing either one face-up monster your opponent controls or monsters from your hand or field whose total levels exactly equal its level, and if you do, you lose life points equal to its original attack. Whoa. Okay, let's read the second part. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target a GISHKI monster in grave. Oh my gosh, my mouse is all kinds of janked up. Place it on top of the deck, and if you do, place this card on the bottom of the deck. Okay, cool. Gives you like a double shuffle back to just reload. Gets a GISHKI back in the deck while also putting itself in there for a potential search later on, which is cool. Okay, back to this. One thing that is interesting to this is, as far as rulings go, I'm assuming that the way this is going to be worded and the way this is going to work is it says tributing either one face-up monster your opponent controls. So it has to be probably exactly one, which means depending on the level of the GISHKI you're trying to summon, you can't tribute. It has to be a monster on your opponent's field with a level equal to or higher than, you know. Oh wait. Oh, exactly. Oh, maybe it is exactly. Wow. If it has to be exactly the same level, then it's going to be a little bit sus, because there's not a ton of level 10s running around, which is like the new level of this guy. There's not, I don't know all the levels. I'm sure they have a couple, but at the same time, you don't want to play every level just because you want to play the ones that are like actually good and worth it. So I guess this could be very matchup dependent, but worst case scenario, I'm sure you can facilitate your own summons yourself. That's just kind of like the bonus, really crazy. If you resolve this, you're wild kind of effect, right? But yeah, still cool nonetheless. And for the last card here, we have Aqua Mirror Focalization. This is a normal spell. You can only use the second effect once per turn. The first effect is add one GISHKI monster from deck to hand. I'm sorry, the second effect is a hard once per turn? So you can add as like 3 times if you have it. Cool. During the end phase, if you control a water ritual, you can banish this card from your grave to set an Aqua Mirror spell trap from your deck or graveyard. Whoa, I don't know what's already in the deck. I know there's a couple of Aqua Mirror traps. If there's one that's like a legit good interruption, the fact that this is just a rota to get you into your play, and then it's just going to on end phase get you an extra interruption, that's pretty freaking sweet. Holy crap, this card's really cool. Yeah, pretty interesting support through and through. I think the new monster is great. I think the new boss monster is solid. Obviously, one monster negate by itself is not enough, so this deck is definitely going to have to do more than that to kind of get the job done, but we'll obviously, I don't know exactly what kind of end boards. Maybe it's kind of like what Mermail Atlantean kind of does right now, which is like hand rip your opponent for a couple. Maybe you don't go for a full like 5-card hand rip, but maybe you go for like 2, maybe 3 in a good hand, and then you end on like 1 or 2 good interruptions. This guy being one of them, maybe one other, and then your opponent has to try and play with 3-4 cards to beat 2-3 interruptions. Good luck, right? That may be the strategy going first. I don't know though. As far as this card goes, it's interesting. Again, I don't know how consistently we're going to be able to tribute our opponent's stuff. And I think they have other ritual cards already, so I don't know if this one necessarily power creeps those. And this card's crazy. I mean, it's a non-once per turn rota that also gets you another free card. It's just a straight up +1 that's not once per turn. So really, really crazy. Couple of really awesome cards. Again, I do not know GISHKIs that well. I'm going to have to go in after this and really look at what the archetype already has available to see how some of this new stuff synergizes with that. But yeah, definitely curious to see what these guys can do. So if you know more than I do, please let me know in the comment section down below synergies these cards have with stuff that already exists for GISHKIs, as well as just where you think GISHKIs are now after the support. If you're an avid fan, let me know. Are they good? Are they not? Is this enough? Please, fill me in. I gotta know. So yeah. I'm out of here for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff like this from me down the line. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.